What has been the most toughest part for you so far through your journey?
Through my journey. Um, so I guess, being a young mom starting at age 19, I realized I felt a lot of isolation and a lot of being alone. I lost a lot of friends when I dove into the mother world at a young age because, they were all just starting their young adult lives, and most young adult lives don't include being a mother right away and being full of that responsibility. So a lot of friends, kind of left me because they were off joining colleges or partying or doing whatever, most young people do, where I was living the hardcore responsible life, raising my kids. And then I've kind of experienced different angles of that in different areas of my life where I feel like because of my focus on my path and my endurance to just keep going forward, I kind of feel like I've been called to run a hard race. And because I run a hard race, I don't mean to push people outside. Like I like companionship, but I often find that my pursuit is of a different energy level than most people can keep up with. So I felt pretty alone and isolated. Another thing to state, because it has made a big impact on, it's something that I've had to process, is that I started a few college classes, but I never completed college. Professional ballerinas don't always go through college because you are training so hardcore with your body pretty much all day long that you don't have time for classes of college structure. So that's not quite the case as much maybe nowadays, but 20 years ago, if you were becoming a professional ballerina, then you're in the studio all the time dancing and physically training, kind of like an athlete or an Olympian, like you're all in. And so I never finished college, and then I lived most of my life growing up in this college town where a lot of our friends, our church, just so many professors and just well-knowledge people. And I felt a little bit like I wasn't quite adding up, that I wasn't quite enough, that I wasn't um, qualified. And that's something that at moments I don't want to say ashamed of, but it kind of made me sad because there was so many conversations that would be happening in the room where, with professors galore sitting there. I was like, well, this isn't me. I don't really have the expertise they do. So I would just kind of sit in the corner. I'm also an introvert, surprise. And so I just wasn't putting myself out there into this kind of conversations very much. But as 20 years of going through this process of being in rooms where I feel like I didn't quite qualify around all these highly educated people, I realized, what? There are many different paths. And I was able to grow a business and keep it alive for 20 years through God's grace. And He blessed it. But, I didn't go through all the steps of being trained. I taught myself, and I'm very ambitious in that way. I love to learn, but I'm very hands-on. I'm very hardcore about just diving in and figuring out what I need to do to make something happen. So in that way, I was able to, grow and raise my own studio and be successful in it. And so I also it's not that I don't like college. I love college. I have two daughters that are graduating early with masters and bachelors at the age of 21 and 20. And they've gone through, and done amazing things with their college degrees. But on the opposite side, I know there's people out there, probably like me, that excel without needing all of those college degrees and diplomas and signature papers. And so, again,